Is Xbox winning the console war without consoles? I think it is. That's right. Xbox is, that sounds funny, right? Xbox is winning the console war without consoles. Well, it is. It's just a fact. That is the future. The future is not a future without consoles. Don't get me wrong. There will always be consoles, I believe. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. I think what's shifting is the ecosystems of the consoles will not be limited to just the consoles. You will have variety. It's this is an Xbox marketing strategy that Xbox has. They've changed nothing about this. They've been talking about it for forever. It's definitely the future, particularly with cloud gaming on the horizon and Game Pass. But there is this interesting article from Variety, and it does seem like the strategy is finally starting to punch through the noise. What is the noise? The noise is, Xbox is going away. Xbox is becoming a third-party publisher. None of that is true. None of that has ever been true. That's just from people who don't think forward. That's not correct. I didn't say that correct. That's just from, let me rephrase this. That's just from people who struggle to think outside the box, and they can't see what's right in front of them, and what's right in front of them is Game Pass. Game Pass is the future. Subscription gaming is the future. Let's go over this article from Variety, and then let's discuss it. Let's talk about what this means. The article is pretty long, and I'll be honest, the article in Variety says a lot of nothing, and then there's 2 paragraphs that are worse. So we're going to skip straight to these 2 paragraphs. We're going to discuss them. We're going to talk about just that question. Let's answer it. Is Xbox winning the console war without consoles? I believe they are, but let's discuss it. Before we do, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time right here. Also, X1 Daily Podcast, the X1 Daily Podcast. It is a podcast. Make sure you go check it out. Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's just this video. It's just as podcast form. So if you like podcast form, then make sure to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and help share us with the masses, with the world. Okay, let's go over this. This is the article, How Indiana Jones and Call of Duty Are Pushing Xbox Ahead of PlayStation, Nintendo in a Next-Gen Console-less Holiday Season. Just think about that headline now from Variety. Variety is a mainstream traditional media magazine, right? And they are finally saying Nintendo that there's a next-gen console-less holiday season and Xbox is going ahead. This is why you pay the billions of dollars to get Bethesda. This is why you pay the billions of dollars to get Activision Blizzard. You don't pay those billions of dollars to all the haters out there to just go third-party publisher. That makes 0 sense. In no world, in no galaxy, does it make sense to pay that kind of money simply to become a third-party publisher. Why do you pay that kind of money? You pay that kind of money to bolster to create a subscription gaming service, to bolster it so that you can have at regular intervals, every other month, every 3 months, a game like an Indiana Jones, like a Call of Duty dropping that pulls people into the value that is Game Pass. And that's exactly what has happened here this year with Game Pass. So Starfield wasn't enough to do it. Starfield is still kind of last generation, in my opinion, as far as the salesmanship here of Game Pass. We're really starting to see the ball rolling now. Look at Call of Duty drop. So first of all, you actually technically got Diablo first with its move, and then you got the expansion to Diablo. Then you got Call of Duty, though. Call of Duty dropping Day 1, Black Ops 6 on Game Pass, the highest selling Call of Duty ever. Then, that's in October. Then in December, 2 months later, you now got, actually not exactly 2 months later, it's like a month and a half, you then get Indiana Jones. And in another few months, we got Avowed, and another few months after that, we're going to get something. We also, don't forget, we also got Flight Simulator 2024 in between this. That's absolutely crushing it, in my opinion. And that's how it works. And eventually, once again, it's not going to be any 1 or 2 games that gets people into it. It's going to be multiple games over time that eventually people will say, why am I paying for these games when I could get them on Game Pass? I want to play this game. I'll just pay for Game Pass. And that's how it happens. That's how it's going to work over time. Okay, let's go into this article and just see what it says. We got to scroll down. I marked it right there. See that purple? So in the article, they talk a lot about what Indiana Jones means for Xbox, how successful it's been, what Game Pass is, etc. And we're going to pick up here. Now, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, says Variety, is Xbox's highest priority for 2024 and comes on the heels of the October 25 launch of the latest addition to the Activision-produced Call of Duty series, Black Ops 6, which came through Microsoft's massive Activision deal that closed last year. Microsoft said Black Ops 6 had the biggest opening weekend of any game in the franchise and has maintained that status over the past month, ranking number 1 in total players, hours played, and total matches. The company didn't release sales figures for Black Ops 6, but said with its release, the, quote, Call of Duty franchise, unquote, has now sold more than 500 million copies. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. They continue, Variety. The momentum has put Xbox in front of longtime rival PlayStation. Quote, from a pure content perspective, we must conclude that Microsoft's portfolio is now quite a bit stronger than Sony's. This is from MoffettNathanson analyst. This is from MoffettNathanson analyst Clay Griffin, who wrote this on November 26th in a research note. Great Circle is the first and only Indiana Jones game of this size that Lucasfilms has greenlit. In the first-person game, set after the events of 1981, Harrison Ford starred Raiders of the Lost Ark. Players go on stealth missions, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Where's the conclusion? Where is the conclusion here? And then they talk a lot about Indiana Jones, what it means. As with Black Ops 6, Microsoft is making Great Circle available to subscribers of Xbox Game Pass for no additional charge, an attempt to mimic Netflix's model. The indie game will remain an Xbox and PC exclusive until it comes to PlayStation in spring of 2025. The game's first round of downloadable content is set to release at an unspecified date in the new year. We are very much making the decisions on a game-by-game basis, said Matt Booty. And each of our studios is in a little bit of a different position. There's also the production timeline on a game, so the decision on spacing comes there first. We want to make sure there's a great experience for our Xbox players, and then the gap between when it becomes available on PlayStation is as much a production decision as it is anything else. This is a game that was in production before we acquired Bethesda, even. And so you can see there the strategy, right? I've said this all along. And Indiana Jones being successful, and I think it's 87 right now on Metacritic. I've played it. I played it almost all the way through. I did experience one bug that I believe has been patched now, but it's a miraculous game. I mean, it's a really solid game. It was a 9 for me. Hands down a 9 for me. And having that back to back with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 really does, I think, underscore the value of Game Pass. Now, the other thing here is it also underscores this strategy of timed release exclusives. And for everybody that's like, well, wait a minute, Indiana Jones, there is a lot of Xbox people still stuck, and PlayStation people for that matter, still stuck in the old model of console wars. What is the old model of console wars? In the old model of console wars, your software sells your hardware, and your hardware sells your software, and vice versa. So you want stuff, lifetime exclusives on your box. Under a Game Pass model, that's not necessarily the case. Yes, you do want some lifetime exclusives there. You don't need everything to be a lifetime exclusive there. And an Indiana Jones is the perfect game to actually not be a lifetime exclusive, in my opinion. And I think this article proves that. And I think Xbox is the leader in the next-gen consoleless holiday season. Like, they are winning the console war without consoles. That's what this next generation is. That's what the future is. And Indiana Jones sets you up perfectly. Why? Because here it is, this massive IP drops day one on Xbox. Everybody's raving about it. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's getting all kinds of great reviews. You can wait if you're on PlayStation, sure. Or you can come over to Game Pass. It sells the Game Pass. But guess what? Halfway through next year, 2/3 of the way next year, whenever it drops on PlayStation, it's still one giant commercial for Game Pass. Hey, thank you for your $70, but you could have experienced this for a low monthly subscription. Oh yeah, you could have also got Call of Duty. Oh yeah, you could have also got Avowed and Flight Simulator and Halo and Forza and a bevy of third-party titles as well. But thank you very much for your money and enjoy the game. And that's just the reality. So the question is, I've already given away the answer. The question is, do I think that Xbox is going to win the console war without consoles? I actually really like that. I'm proud of myself. I really like that. The console war without consoles. Yes, they are. I think that there's a couple challenges for PlayStation and Nintendo, and those challenges primarily are the head start that Xbox has. And you see it with even a Disney Plus. Disney Plus has a massive library, but Disney Plus, in order to become Disney Plus, had to go out and purchase Fox. If in order to compete with the Netflixes and Amazon Primes of the world. Netflix had such a huge start. They had such a huge library. And despite the fact that Disney has a huge classic library, they still have to go buy Fox. Microsoft has a huge start here. Buying Activision, Blizzard, buying Bethesda, and we're not done with the purchases. Phil Spencer has said there's going to be more purchases here, and it's all to fill the content library, the content needs that is a subscription gaming a subscription gaming model. Man, I can't talk today. And I genuinely think it's inevitable that Nintendo and PlayStation are going to have to they're going to have to make some big decisions here in order to keep up with that kind of. Nintendo already has a library, if you think about it, and they're already doing a pretty good job with their online. I mean, in fairness, PlayStation has a decent library as well. What they don't have, though, once you get rolling here, and let's pretend every 2 months, let's say every 3 months, that's 4 big games a year. Let's just pretend that Xbox is able to do that. That's a lot. That's a lot. Think back on the big PlayStation years. You got one big title a year, one big title a year. I don't know that that's enough going forward in what Xbox is going to push here with its first party studios. And keep in mind, we're also talking third party games here, and it's a win-win for third party studios. You can go on Game Pass and not be exclusive to Xbox. You can go on Game Pass and you get the boost in games, and you're still available on PC. You're still available over on PlayStation. Anyways, just wanted to go over this article. I saw this headline and I thought, interesting. It seems like it's starting to break through the noise. I would love to know what you guys think, though. What do you think the broader implications are for the gaming industry? Do you think that there's challenges for PlayStation and Nintendo? Do you agree? Maybe I'm jumping the shark here. Maybe Xbox is not yet winning the war without consoles, the console war without consoles. Maybe they're still behind. What do you think? I don't think so. I think that they're hitting the ground running. I think we're seeing momentum. I think Indiana Jones dropping and being the game that it is huge. Back to back with Microsoft Flight Simulator, back to back with Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. And the future is bright, and I'm very excited for it. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.